U.S. tariffs on $34 billion, £25.7 billion, of Chinese goods have come into effect, signaling the start of a trade war between the world's two largest economies. The 25% levy came into effect at midnight Washington time. China has retaliated by imposing a similar 25% tariff on 545 U.S. products, also worth a total of $34 billion. Beijing accused the U.S. of starting the largest trade war in economic history. After the U.S. activated its tariff measures against China, China's measures against the U.S. took effect immediately, said Lu Kang, a foreign ministry spokesman. Two companies in Shanghai told the BBC that customs authorities were delaying clearance processes for U.S. imports on Friday. The American tariffs are the result of President Donald Trump's bid to protect U.S. jobs and stop unfair transfers of American technology and intellectual property to China. The White House said it would consult on tariffs on another $16 billion of products, which Mr. Trump has suggested could come into effect later this month. The imposition of the tariffs had little impact on Asian stock markets. The Shanghai Composite closed 0.5% higher, but ended the week 3.5% lower, its seventh consecutive week of losses. Tokyo closed 1.1% higher, but Hong Kong fell 0.5% in late trading. Hikaru Sato at Daiwa Securities said markets had already factored in the impact of the first round of tariffs. Mr. Trump has already imposed tariffs on imported washing machines and solar panels, and started charging levies on the imports of steel and aluminium from the European Union, Mexico, and Canada. He has also threatened a 10% levy on an additional $200 billion of Chinese goods if Beijing refuses to change its practices. The president upped the stakes on Thursday, saying the amount of goods subject to tariffs could rise to more than $500 billion. You have another $16 billion in 2 weeks, and then, as you know, we have $200 billion in abeyance, and then after the $200 billion, we have $300 billion in abeyance. Okay? So we have 50 plus 200 plus almost 300, he said. The U.S. tariffs imposed so far would affect the equivalent of 0.6% of global trade and account for 0.1% of global GDP, according to Morgan Stanley in a research note issued before Mr. Trump's comments on Thursday. Analysts are also concerned about the impact on others in the supply chain and about an escalation of tensions between the U.S. and China in general.